What's up, y'all? So I just finished listening to the surrender session from yesterday. I've been having to watch the replay because catching it live is just not working out, so thank God for the replay. Jasmine be in my business, okay? So here it is. Jasmine is talking about she's talking about surrender, and she said something that it was a part of one of my prayers. And even when I was praying it, I was like, God, I'm not cursing you. I'm just bringing you my thoughts and my feelings. But this surrender thing is really bothering me, because at what point do I get what I want? And looking back, it's like, oh girl, why did you, like, come on, Miss Mamas. But it was a very real thing, because it's like, okay, Lord, I come to you. Your word says, ask and you shall receive. Your word says, make your request known. You know what I mean? Your word says, ask in faith and all of the things. And I'm doing that. And it seems like every time I ask, you reciprocate that ask and you ask me to give. Okay, I give. And I come back and I say, okay, Lord, you know, making my request known again. And then you hit me with another, okay, surrender. Surrender, surrender, surrender. And it's like, okay, I'm upholding my end of the bargain, but it kind of feels like you not holding up yours. And I feel a way about that. And you know, Jasmine, in the video, she was speaking about, you know, the brand and the ministry and everything that goes into it. Like, we want the mountaintop, we want the outcome, but there's much process, especially when you're doing it His way. And so this week we're talking about, you know, is it my desire or is it the Lord's? Am I taking Him my plans and saying, Lord, bless it? Or am I seeking Him for His plan so that He can bless? And it's the fact that she voiced the very thing that I prayed about. Sometimes our expectation is warped, that He will not do what we asked anyway. And we have this idea that if I live a life of surrender, then I'm not going to get what I want. And I'm also learning to not feel guilty or not feel misplaced because of the challenges that I'm experiencing in my walk. My challenges don't look like yours. Your challenges don't look like mine. My challenges don't even look like my friends' challenges, to be honest. And there was a point, I had reached a point where I had just stopped voicing how I was feeling. I stopped voicing despair, even to my friends, because we're not going through the same thing. So you can empathize, but you don't get it. And also, some of the Christian girlies are mean and judgmental and condemning. I experienced a Christian mean girl, and I decided I don't want to be that. So in order for me not to be that, I have to be more authentic in my in what I share, you know, because this walk is not pretty. Nothing aesthetically pleasing about it. And it's gonna be moments where, like, you have to be confronted and convicted about the fact that you're not surrendering well. I've been really thinking about these t-shirts lately. The last ones I did were Living Surrendered. Man, at first I was like, okay, this is just a lesson. Like, I'm gonna drop the shirt, brand it, market it, you know, whatever. It's gonna be my life for a second, then I'm on to the next thing. It has been 3 years of living surrendered in various different aspects. Sometimes I'm having to go back and surrender again and surrender again and surrender again. And at first I was like, what am I not getting? Like, if the test is repeating itself, I'm failing. Am I not? What am I not getting? And okay, maybe. But also, much like what Jasmine said in that video, I have learned that surrender is not a season. It is your entire life. It's not that you're failing the test. This is simply a part of it. It is again and again and again and again and again and again. Sometimes the yes to surrender is going to be easy, and then sometimes there's going to be a pause there, and then sometimes the yes to surrender is going to take you a second to reach a point where you finally just, I surrender. And each level is important. Each level is purposeful. Each level is significant. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong just because you're struggling to surrender.
Hi guys,
welcome back to the channel. I know it has been like 5 months since I've been with you guys, right? How long? 5 months since the last personal vlog. I've posted living in virtue content. I've posted Bible study vlogs. I launched a podcast this year, which I was super excited about. And then I just went silent, right? So first I want to say I'm sorry, but welcome back. The last 5 months have been quite interesting for me, to say the least. I did not expect to just drop off the radar on social media and just like not be present, because I was in the process of building something. But with my content journey, with my social media journey, with me wanting to make sure that I keep virtue and faith at the forefront of my journey, one of the things that I've had to remember is that my version of consistency is not hustle. My version of consistency, rather, looks like me being consistent in what I'm supposed to do. And so there are moments or seasons where it's hit the ground running, keep going, don't stop. And then there comes a pause. And so now we're pressing play. So in this vlog, I'm sharing some of the content from my archives, okay? Which the next few vlogs are probably going to be content from the archives. But I'm going to come on and explain to you why I'm sharing it, explain to you what it meant, just kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together. This vlog is about living surrendered, and a part of the surrender that I really had to hone in on and stand firm in. Surrendering, not being just a season of your life, but being your entire life. So that goes back to what I was saying about my social media journey. Sometimes it's hit the ground running, keep going, run the play. And sometimes it's time out, we're going to take a pause. And I had to surrender to the pause that was being asked of me, really. I can't even say it was being asked of me. I was kind of forced into it, right? It was just like, this thing happened, this thing happened, this thing happened. And next thing you know, it's been a month. It's been 2 months. Or I was filming the content, but the editing just wasn't happening. And I'm not one to force things. I don't want to force things. And that's a big deal on my faith journey. I learned not to force things. I learned not to move in my own strength. I learned not to make my own plans. Not to put too much stock in my own plans, but instead to yield to the Lord. And one big part of my silence was that I wasn't yielding. I got sat right on down. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to get back to doing this thing that I've enjoyed doing, which is sharing my life on the internet, sharing my faith journey on the internet, being authentic and real in my approach in what I do share regarding my faith journey, my salvation journey. I want to invite you guys into this, and I want us to have this conversation here on this channel about what it means to live a surrendered life. So there's that. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't have much more to say. And until next time, guys, remember, it's a daily journey.